Hello, all my friends. This is Gilles. I come to discuss a few ideas in these very shifting times that we just a point of view. Right? It's just we all here we all have point of view, and we all feel life in a different way. We have to always tune in to this inner self as much as possible. For we all been passing through some very dark energy, some very dark time. I don't know about you, but it's been very difficult. But it has to come very dark before the great light shows up. And so understanding that there's a lot of fear-based technologies that from aliens that are completely unknown, that are constantly keeping the world in darkness and in fear. And all of this will be deactivated. It is a sign that the great light is not too far, because all these alien technologies that have been keeping humanity in fear and submission to these dark programs will force the Galactic Federation and the Intergalactic Confederation of Free World to intervene in the program in order to deactivate that. For Mother Earth, humanity have been suffering over, and it's like this permanent tortures that is absolutely not necessary. Everybody could live in heaven. In 1948, George Orwell predicted that humanity had everything to go into a heavenly situation where everybody could have everything. But he also saw how humanity could be manipulated into a nightmare, and this is really what's been going on. But it is the end of that process, as it is the time of the prophecies of the apocalypse that is really close. And so understand that there's the Galactic Federation is gonna intervene, and we're very close to finding this freedom. For it has been announced that on the solstice, in the 21st of June, the sun will intervene and will send a great solar flash that will create all kinds of wonderful changes. So continue to call on the sun. The sun is a divine being of light, and call on him to intervene. Call on him to assist the planet and humanity, to assist and awaken you. For once humanity no longer buys into fear, all the demons and the dark extraterrestrial will have no choice but to go, because they live on that. They feed on the fear that has been promoted. And so they will have two choices: to learn to feed on love and stay with the planet, or to go into a younger world where they'll be able to continue their programs, but God will, or they will completely be dissolved. For at some point, there'll come a point in time where God will dissolve the personality, and his memory will go into the supreme, but they will never be known as a personality again, because there's no redemption. God must not waste his time. It just gives enough time through the path of eternity for every soul to find its way back to the love and the light. And so there is only need for 1% of humanity to be awakened for everything to change. What we have to do is to federate 1,000 people, to awaken 1,000 people. Spirit told me I've done through the 30 years of my spiritual ascension path. I have done that. I have awakened 1,000 people, but those 1,000 people need to awaken 1,000 people. So once there is 1,000,000 on the same path, everything changes. So it's even less than 1% that is necessary. So for sometimes we have to know that we don't know, because we have this lower mind and this higher mind. The lower mind is always fighting and wanting to do this a certain way, when the higher mind knows a better way. So we have to trust this higher mind. I know that I don't know. Sometimes I wonder through my lower mind, does my personal life has very significance or meaning, because it's really the conditions of life have been really difficult, and because I know the eternal life of God will never be touched by anything. So it's like, no matter what happens to me, and the planet is right on our way to ascension. So do I need to be here? I'm not really sure. But Spirit, my higher mind, says there is a function for me to stay here and to continue to work, and that freedom is right around the corner. For we're really at the time of the apocalypse. We're really getting close to the end of time. At the end of time, time stops and the judgment comes. God is known and seen by everybody. The good and the bad are being separated. They're just, the darkness is being turned into dust, and those who have served the darkness will be in terror and horrified to see what they've done, and then those who have served the good will be in joy and will be uplifted. For that is. But before the great light comes, the glorious light of God comes, there needs to be an extreme sorrow that is being experienced. So we're just going through that. I feel that we're going through that now. So this time of apocalypse is we're right in it. for humanity has been tortured over and over again, always by a very small minority of beings that owns the corporation. They pull the strings behind the government, they control the media, they control all the armament and the war, and they're fighting those wars, and all those things will have to come to an end. We can no longer, the planet can no longer sustain that. The ascension will happen regardless if we're ready or not. So we may as well just stay tuned to the love and light within always, and allowed everything else to be transmuted. For trust God. We don't trust enough. That's the point. We think we have to do things within ourselves, but actually it's about stepping back and letting God show us the way. And so I'm going to pull a few cards and talk about crystals. So it is a sign that the darker it gets, the closer we can feel that we are close to the point of freedom, the point of liberation, the point of the great light manifesting. So the past, present, and future. So the past is success. It's all the planet coming into alignment. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. It's like everything is coming into alignment. Where we are now is growth. We are growing. It's the cycle of growth. We are learning so much. But before the ascension, we need to be empowered. We need to fulfill whatever test we had that our soul has planned in order to empower us to be ready to move into this new age. And what's coming in the future is the lovers. Here it is a Brancusi sculpture, a wonderful sculptor. And it is those two parts coming together. It is wonderful for finding a true mate, a true soul mate, and so and to enjoy the pleasures of union. Where we are now is aspiration. We are aspiring towards freedom. It is liberty. It is freedom. It is we do want this, and the more people ask ask the Creator, ask the company of heaven, ask the sun, the stars, the planet to assist us in this process of ascension, the faster it will go. We're developing trust and connection to the higher self, and the outcome will be stagnation. Everything that's been stagnating will be unblocked. It's a spiritual path, an ascension, and we have to pass through the darkness in order to achieve the light. And from there, we're going to find the Empress, the Great Mother, it's Isis, the birth and rebirth, the Great Universal. So do not focalize so much on details. For even what we experience here on the planet, as individualized beings, is only a tiny minuscule fraction of who we are, yet it feels like it is the whole and all because that's what we're experiencing. But it is only a minuscule details of who we truly are, for we are eternal beings of light and divine love. And so all of this is only temporary. So it's about being more stoic, not allowing anything to stand in the way of that freedom as much as possible. For I wanted to speak about crystals very briefly. For this crystal, for instance, I have this little crystal. So it's a good friend. This one comes from Brazil. I got it when I was in Brazil. And the crystals are beings. They're actually real beings. They have intelligence. They have they are kind of universal, but they have their own individualized consciousness, and they have many facets. And so a crystal is a being that's been around for about 100 million, 200 million years. So it's been around a long time. It's very old. And they're almost as powerful as diamonds, which are even older. They're like 1 billion or 2 billion years for a diamond to become. If I had a diamond that size, it would be worth a fortune. But you can acquire crystals for a lot cheaper. A lot cheaper. And they almost have the same function. They come from divine light. They're made from pure light. They're made from pure essence. And so when you connect to crystal, you're awakening your crystalline nature, your light nature. But you want to ask that the crystal is tuned in to your own soul frequency, so nobody can use it against you, because the crystals are channeled to all kinds of things. So you ask for it to be tuned in to your own specific frequency, so only you can use it, and you call it open or closed, depending when you do a work with it. for the crystals are magnifier. If you do use it unconsciously, and you have a negative emotion, the crystal will record it, and when you pick it up the next time, you will serve it to you 1,000-fold or 100 or 10-fold. The emotion, negative emotion. So you wonder, why does that come from? But it was planted in the crystal before. So you want to clean the crystals regularly in salt water. But if you really ask it to be tuned into your soul frequency, you will block all kinds of negative energy. You have to program your crystals. Most of the fifth dimensional technology that we're going to be receiving will be are functioning with different kind of crystals, not necessarily organic crystals, but they are crystalline technologies. And when we move into the ascension path, our body will be crystalline. So we want our physical body to be as clear as a crystal. Well, I hope this will you can continue to work with it, and that this will assist you. Those information for it is important that we're becoming more aware of how things work and how to work with the elements and the tools that were given. For we are very close to this point of apocalypse, the end time, and so. So this is what I wanted to talk about. I also wanted to say that this lower realm, the realm of the physical, here we're in a dark shadow matrix, which is kind of rare. There's not all that many, but they are. It's been revealed. It's not me that's been counting it, but it's been revealed that there are actually right now over 6 trillion inhabited world in the physical realm. There is about 6 trillions, over 6 trillions, and in the time and space, in those great galaxies, there are 6 trillions inhabited world, and they will be eventually there will be 7 trillions, and then time and space will ascend, and we'll move on to the next level. But all the company of heaven, everything that's been created in spirit seems to have been, God has created all the celestial realm just for the ascension of mortal beings, so they can come back to paradise, and 90% of all spirits are dedicated to that path of ascension to the mortal beings, regardless of the lowness of their origin. And as we ascend, we meet beings and we receive education that makes up for the lack that we get from our origin. For spirit, there are certain spirits that are created on high that always have been in the eternity of the knowledge, the eternal knowledge of God. For there are beings that are stationary. Their knowledge is stable. They never change. Then there are beings that are descending, and there are beings that are ascending. As light workers, we descend and ascend and descend and ascend, but eventually we want to return home, return to the source. And there are beings also, spirit in the universe, that's never heard about material reality. They are involved in other function that makes the universe works. So it is very vast, and this is a painting that recognizes the 7 great families of spirit beings. All those, but it's kind of complex paintings, and each of them we are represented. We're not represented as mortal beings, but we are represented as paradise citizens once we achieve that sphere as the citizens of paradise, ascending citizens of paradise, and in the first corp of finality, and also in terms of being mighty messengers, for that is really the destinies of mortal beings from this planet, as we have this I am presence it is a passport to paradise, and eventually we'll be mighty messengers because we come from a planet that's been quarantined, so we will not be able to go into the finalter corpse. We're going to be trinitized, which is a great, wonderful destiny. The other paintings behind me is a painting on astronomy. This painting here is also a painting about the dissolution of the stars. It's very powerful paintings. And this is a dinner party. There's there's 3 characters with this dinner table, and they're it says one life, 0010110. It says ascension code, and the other painting says paradise. And so I'm going to pull one more card, sing a song that went through my head. It's a romantic song, it's a happy song. It goes like this. She comes in colors everywhere. She combs her hair. She's like a rainbow. Coming colors in the air. Oh, everywhere. She comes in color. you seen her dressed in blue? See the sky in front of you, and her face is like a sail, speck of white so fair and pale. Have you seen a lady fairer? She comes in colors everywhere, she combs her hair, she's like a rainbow. Coming colors in the air, oh everywhere, she comes in color. Have you seen her all in gold, like a queen in days of old? She shoots color all around, like a sunset going down. Have you seen a lady fairer? She comes in colors everywhere, she combs her hair, she's like a rainbow. Coming colors in the air, oh everywhere, she comes in color. It's a wonderful song about this rainbow light. So visualize this rainbow light, and bring it to the root, to the base chakra, and you visualize that this root chakra is being invaded by this multi-spectrum color frequency, and then you bring it to the navel, you bring it to the solar plexus, you bring it to your heart, you bring it to your throat chakra, to your third eye, and then it opens up, and you want to continue to work with those light frequency, to clear up your energetic body, so it becomes as clear as a crystal. And so I just wanted to wish you a good day today. The card of the day is the moon, is the archangel Eniel. For the moon was a very restrictive energy for eons, but now she's been deactivated. She's like the mother, the divine feminine expressing is the emotion, but we want to utilize our emotion for the ascension purpose. And she said, opportunity to elaborate, to refine your project. Let yourself be guided by your intuition. Confront your fears to be stronger. So it is very much about the mother. The moon is the moon is also this path of darkness that we have to traverse in order to find the freedom and the great light. And so let us be courageous and to walk through the valley of the shadow of the dead in the company of the angels, in the company of our guides, in the company of our Creator, and everything will happen well, and we'll find ourselves on the other side of the doorway. Then we'll rejoice, knowing that all of this was just an illusion. It was a temporary illusion, and when we're going to discover the truth of the reality of the eternal light, we'll be also grateful for having been through that, in order to that's something that was quite unique in the experience of our soul. I thank you very much. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.